Hello everybody, it's Julia here, and I am at my own place today with my friend Kim's computer. She helped me clean up this place a little bit and helped me with well, brought ingredients so I could cook a recipe. I cooked, it was corn and black bean soup, and she's vegetarian, so that was something that she was craving for a while, and
Look, all gone.
yeah, and she brought the ingredients and I cooked it and everything, and it was good. So I appreciate her bringing the ingredients and everything because that was very very yummy with taste and flavor. And
Okay,
it's my first video from my Foodaholics 101 channel. It was my first Julia Sunday dinner. Started off on Trans Health channel that is no more. Um, and I did that video, and then I moved it over to my own collab channel. So, um, yeah. So, go check that out if you want. It's Foodaholics 101. And also check out my personal page, which is Julia Z12345. And if you want to, Facebook me at julia.zion. Um, facebook.com/julia.zion, whatever. Um, After those are out of the way, this week's topic was actually one that I submitted. I'm a big sports fan, and I've been following this one sports story that really interested me. Um, there's a player on the women's basketball team of George Washington University named Kai Allums, um, actually a transgender male. And it's very interesting to read the press about it and read what they're doing to accommodate him, and it brings up the issue of transgender people in sports. And there are a lot of people who are transgender or even intersex in sports, and it really raises a lot of issues, especially with women's sports more than anything else. Um, with this transgender male, the name when she was part of the team was Kay Allums, and he just changed the name to KYE Allums. Kind of, a little change. But what he decided to do is not take hormones or get any surgeries until I think it's 2 years worth of college is still left, so he can still play on the women's team. Now, from what I heard, he has a naturally high level of testosterone anyway, so he's pretty well built up top. Um, so it's a little bit of an advantage, but that's no big deal. That's just natural. Um, he's not the best player on the team, but he's getting the most press. Um, so what they've been doing is because, especially on a women's team, there are women tend to bond in a different way. So they're all sticking up for him and they're all supporting him. The coach is supporting him. It's a male coach. Sometimes it's a female coach for a women's team, but it's a male coach. And they are supporting him in every way possible. And the rules of the NCAA say that you can be on a women's basketball team just so you don't do any hormones or anything, and the gender marker is up to the team and the school, and it's something that hasn't never. I don't think this issue has been brought up in women's basketball yet, but in other places around the world, it has been. If you remember, I think like 2 years ago, right around the time of the Winter Olympics a little bit beforehand, I think. There was a, I think she was South African woman who was in track and field and was absolutely demolishing records and killing these other women's times in lot. She was in track, not in the field stuff. She was running and everything, and that was made into such a huge story. Excuse me. And turns out that she's intersex, and but she has a lot of characteristics of being a male. A lot of she's infertile, but she has always lived as a female, always competed as a female, and I forget the exact results of what happened, but I think they allowed her to still compete in the sport. It happens in women's golf a bit. There's one woman who I saw an article about recently. This is in women's long drive competitions. Now they're not professional. They're not real, LPGA golfers. These are they go. Their real, strong suit is just hitting the ball far. So that's all they do. But this woman, she's really, really good at it, and she got into a lot of flack. The LPGA won't let her compete. She's a transgender female. They won't let her compete, and but she can compete in USGA sponsored events, which is the United States Golf Association, which is a separate entity from the LPGA. The USGA is the governing body over the US Open. So she has some opportunities to get into the U.S. Open, and she is, you know, to get into any of that stuff because she wants to go from the long drive stuff to the regular LPGA, and they wouldn't allow her to, and but the LPGA wouldn't allow her to, but the USGA is, and but most people get into the U.S. Open through all their competitions throughout the year, all their pro competitions, and they have much, and she has much less of a chance because she's not being permitted to be in the LPGA. Um, she actually has to qualify for it. There are qualifying tournaments, but there aren't that many of them, and she has to get really lucky to get in. Um, and this issue is something that is being brought up more and more recently. Um, I know way, way back when they were still East and West Germany, East German players, East German women sometimes were given steroids, and it basically turned them into men, and it was unfair. People think about those kinds of situations and wonder, what do we do? Because especially with female to male transsexuals, they're in in theory they're taking steroids. So what do you do to fit them into? Yeah, I know who that is, but I'm not picking it up. Um, yeah, that's Jess. You all know Jess. But anyway, she said she'd call me today, but that'll go off. But anyway, um, but people think about it as they're taking steroids, and they are. But you have to realize what they're taking it for, how they're taking it, and the fact that you have to write the regulations and laws to be able to fit them into the sports world. And some people have suggested having, separate leagues for. No, no, that would be stupid. We want All we want to do is fit in, and the world itself doesn't let us fit in too well, and especially in the area of sports. Now also comes down to what are you comfortable with in the locker room. Um, if you have a male to female transsexual who wants to be in sports, there are quite a few, of course. Um, there was one documentary I saw. It was a multi-part documentary about a transgender woman who is competing in BMX biking up in Canada, and she was dominating the sport, and people were saying, "Oh, but she was born a man, and because of that, she has an advantage over us," and blah blah blah. And no, the only thing different is bone structure, and bone structure has nothing to do with athletic ability. It's all in the muscles. It's all in coordination. And if you don't have the muscle tone, whatever, and the ability, you're not going to be good. But if you do, you're going to be good. And it's not just because she was a transsexual that she had the good bone structure, the good muscle tone. You have to work at it. You really do. And um, they talked to a lot of the people who were against her being in it, but the majority of people were for it. And it's a very well done documentary series. I watched it online, and I forget what it was called. Somebody can comment down below and tell me what it is because I would love to watch it again. It was very well done. But um, it really does talk about where she stood in the league. Some people were totally against her being in there, just because she was trans, and it was sad. But at the same time, as much as she was dominating, she still didn't win the major competition. She had way too much, um, going through her head and everything. So I think, and women, male to females who take hormones and everything, um, their muscle structure is pretty much like like hers over there. Like, my friend, she's a genetic female, and she and I have basically the same muscle structure. I mean, where neither one of us is too active, so I'm not that strong. Um, so I noticed when I took the hormones, my what's it called? My muscles up here, I lost a hell of a lot of muscle a couple of months in, and a lot of my strength is gone, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize is that you really are female, except for a few differences. So trying to fit us into it really should not be an issue, but it is. And it's sad that it is an issue. That, people like us just need to go out and compete. Just want to go out and compete. Sometimes they just can't. But things need to be changed, and we need to work on it to get progress. But anyway, my time's almost up, and I probably bored you to death. So I will talk to you all later. Peace out.